The 1st of September 1939. Nazi Germany invades Poland, and the German army is followed by the Einsatzgruppen, which are Nazi mobile death squads, sent to Poland to kill the civilians, mostly the Polish intelligentsia such as teachers, priests, physicians, and other prominent members of Polish society. After the German invasion of the Soviet Union in June 1941, these paramilitary death squads working with units of the German armed forces and local collaborators will conduct mass shooting operations targeting mostly Jews, Romani people, Soviet officials, and other people with disabilities. From 1941 to 1945, while operating behind the front line in Nazi-occupied Eastern Europe, the Einsatzgruppen will murder around 2 million innocent men, women, and children, accounting for 1/3 of all Jewish Holocaust victims. One of the main perpetrators of these atrocities is Helmut Becker. Helmut Hermann Becker was born on the 12th of August 1902 in the small town of Alt-Ruppin, then part of the German Empire. He was the son of a house painter and grew up in the nearby city of Neuruppin. In August 1920, at just 18 years old, Becker enlisted in the German army and joined the 5th Prussian Infantry Regiment, which was stationed in his hometown. He completed his military training in 1925 and graduated from a German army technical school. Soon after, he was posted to the military command in the city of Stettin, today's Polish Szczecin, where he served as a senior sergeant. In 1928, Becker was transferred to an artillery unit, where he served until his 12-year military contract ended in 1932, leaving him unemployed at the age of 30, without a profession and with no clear future. In August 1932, Becker decided to join the SA, or Sturmabteilung, which was the Nazi paramilitary force also known as the Stormtroopers or Brown Shirts, due to the color of their uniforms. On the 30th of January 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Paul von Hindenburg. 1 month later, Becker became a member of the SS in Stettin, working briefly with Wilhelm Bittrich and Hermann Priess, high-ranking SS commanders. In July 1935, he was transferred to the SS Death's Head Unit Upper Bavaria, stationed at the SS training camp in Dachau. Dachau, situated near Munich, was established in March 1933 and became the first Nazi concentration camp. The first prisoner transports arrived in the camp on the 22nd of March 1933. In October of the same year, Dachau's commandant Theodor Eicke introduced a system of regulations which inflicted brutal punishments on prisoners for the slightest offenses. Eicke ensured that the Dachau camp served as a model for all later concentration camps. It also became a training center or school of violence for SS guards who were deployed throughout the concentration camp system. The Death's Head unit, stationed at Dachau, would later evolve into a full Waffen-SS combat division, the infamous SS Division Totenkopf. The SS Division Totenkopf, or Death's Head Division, was an elite unit of the Waffen-SS, the military branch of the SS. This division was deeply indoctrinated with Nazi ideology under its commander, Theodor Eicke. His men were fanatically loyal and became infamous for their brutality, committing numerous war crimes during the war. During his time in Dachau, Becker became the commander of a recruit training company, and from 1936, the head of the junior leader training courses at the SS Training School Dachau. He later rose to become the head of the entire school. In addition to his training duties, Becker was also involved in transport and guard operations at the Dachau camp. In 1938, Becker took part in the annexation of Austria and the occupation of the Sudetenland, a border region of Czechoslovakia containing an ethnic German majority. During this time, his unit, the 1st SS Battalion, was placed under the command of the Wehrmacht, the German armed forces. The Second World War started on the 1st of September 1939 when Nazi Germany invaded Poland. During the invasion of Poland, Helmut Becker's SS unit operated alongside the Wehrmacht in Upper Silesia. Serving under the 10th Army, led by then-General Walter von Reichenau, their mission was to cleanse occupied areas, actions that often meant violent reprisals and the persecution of civilians. In October 1939, the SS Division Totenkopf was officially formed. Becker's unit became the division's 1st Infantry Regiment, and he was appointed commander of its 1st Battalion. In the spring of 1940, Becker took part in the Battle of France, where he was awarded both classes of the Iron Cross for his service. Operation Barbarossa, the German invasion of the Soviet Union, started on Sunday, the 22nd of June, 1941. Shortly after the campaign began, Becker was wounded, but continued to lead his men, and in August 1941 he was officially appointed commander of the regiment. In the autumn of 1941, Helmut Becker led operations near the town of Demyansk in northwestern Russia, initially commanding the motorcycle battalion of the SS Division Totenkopf. By late October, he assumed command of the SS Totenkopf Infantry Regiment 3, continuing to engage in fierce battles aimed at encircling Soviet forces and securing key positions under harsh conditions. For his leadership during this period, Becker was awarded the German Cross in Gold on the 26th of September 1942. Later that year, as the Totenkopf Division transitioned into an armored unit, Becker was promoted to commander of the 6th SS Panzer Grenadier Division. After the death of SS leader Theodor Eicke, the regiment was renamed in his honor. In August 1943, Becker's regiment was ordered to capture the city of Nikotovka and nearby high ground. Despite heavy Soviet resistance, he launched a bold assault with his reserve battalion, advancing ahead of neighboring units not involved in the operation. His forces seized key positions, which allowed the division to push forward and inflict major losses on Soviet troops. For his leadership during these battles, Becker was awarded the Knight's Cross on the 7th of September 1943, one of Nazi Germany's highest military decorations. Becker was considered a tough commander, but personally unpredictable. In addition, he was also a sexual deviant. According to internal correspondence between SS Obergruppenführer Hans Jüttner and SS Gruppenführer Maximilian von Herf, who were disgusted by his actions, Becker had raped Russian women in public and had appeared completely drunk on several occasions at the front as a regimental commander. In the spring of 1943, he organized for prostitutes to visit his command center, and on the 20th of April 1943, he ordered the artillery to fire a 10-minute salute to celebrate the Führer's birthday. Even on the Western Front, at Christmas in 1942, he organized an orgy for his regiment in the officers' casino. He destroyed furniture, smashed windows, and had a horse ridden to death by his fellow officers. In July 1944, Becker was appointed commander of the 3rd SS Panzer Division Totenkopf and later took part in the brutal suppression of the Warsaw Uprising. The uprising began on the 1st of August 1944, when the Polish Home Army, with its 45,000 members, launched a coordinated effort to liberate Warsaw from German occupation and reclaim Polish independence. Only a quarter of the resistance fighters had access to weapons, fighting against 25,000 German soldiers equipped with artillery, tanks, and air forces. In the first few days of the uprising, Polish forces took control of several districts of Warsaw, including downtown and the Old Town. However, after the initial success of the Home Army, German troops gradually recaptured the city. They surrounded the Old Town and other areas, and after more than 2 weeks of combat, the last Polish soldiers left the Old Town through the sewers. As a result of the fighting, Warsaw's historical district was turned into ruins. By the end of September 1944, German forces had taken control of most of Warsaw, systematically destroying much of the city. The uprising ended on the 2nd of October that year, with the number of victims exceeding 180,000 people. In October 1944, Becker was promoted to the rank of SS Brigadeführer, an equivalent to brigadier general in the US Army. In December 1944, Becker and his division were moved to Hungary to take part in the battles around Budapest. They later crossed the Danube River to Vienna, just before the surrender of the German forces. The unit attempted to surrender to the Americans, but local US commanders refused and handed them over to the Soviets. The Second World War in Europe ended on the 8th of May, 1945. In November 1947, Becker was sentenced to 3 terms of 25 years of hard labor for war crimes by the Soviet military tribunal in the city of Poltava. He was sent to prisoner of war camp 377 in Sverdlovsk, today's Yekaterinburg, in the Ural Mountains. However, on the 9th of September 1952, Becker was sentenced to death for sabotage in the labor camp, as he had allegedly attempted to manufacture explosives. When Becker was executed on the 28th of February 1953, he was 50 years old. There were no tears shed for Helmut Becker.
Thanks for watching the World History Channel. Be sure to like and subscribe, and click the bell notification icon so you don't miss our next episodes. We thank you, and we'll see you next time on the channel.